It's a warm July night in 1970. Gas is only 36 cents a gallon, and the vibes from Woodstock are slowly dying out. But the battle for Detroit's top muscle car has reached a peak. The Camaro Z28, Mustang Mach 1, and Challenger RT all laid claim to the title, but only one would earn it. These beasts, churning out 350-plus horsepower with 0 to 60 times under 6 seconds, faced off in this final year before emissions laws and insurance costs clamped down. But which one ruled the road? Let's find out. The 1970 Camaro Z28 was a drag strip demon with a racer's soul. Fresh off its second-generation redesign, it hit showrooms with a price just under $4,000 and was powered by the LT1 V8, a 350 cubic inch engine rated at 360 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque, though dyno tests from Car and Driver in 1970 suggested edge toward 375 horses. Paired with a Muncie 4-speed manual and 373 rear gears, it launched to 60 miles per hour in 5.8 seconds and ripped the quarter mile in 14.2 seconds at 100 miles per hour. At 3,565 pounds, its tuned suspension was a game-changer, engineered for Trans Am glory with stiffer springs and a tighter sway bar that outcornered heavier rivals. The Holley 4-barrel carburetor, 11-to-1 compression ratio, and solid lifters gave it a high revving scream, hitting 6,000 RPM with ease. Rally stripes and a split bumper added street cred, though GM's 1970 strike left the interior rough. Rattling dashboards and misaligned panels were common gripes. Less than 9,000 Z28s were built, a rare find with options like the RS package boosting its look with hidden headlights. Under the hood, the LT1's aluminum intake and free-flowing exhaust headers shaved weight and boosted power, making it a favorite for track rats. Pop the hood and you'd see a beast of simplicity. Forged pistons that took the heat of hard revs, a high-lift camshaft that made the valves dance fast for more air, and a dual-plane manifold that fed the hungry carb, giving it that signature growl you'd hear from blocks away. Even if you didn't know anything about cars, you'd feel the LT1's raw energy and exhaust rumble that made every stoplight a stage. Its agility shone on twisty roads, but the engine's thirst for premium fuel and occasional overheating hinted at its wild side. So then, was the Camaro the clear winner? Not if Ford had anything to say about it. The Mustang Mach 1 was the street king with a Hollywood edge. Evolving from its 1964 pony car roots, the 1970 model grew bold. The base model, equipped with the 351 Cleveland V8, was priced at just over $3,000. However, the optional 428 cubic inch Cobra-Jet V8, rated at 335 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque, was the engine of choice for the drag strip. A 1970 Motor Trend test suggested that the 428 Super Cobra Jet hit closer to 400 horsepower with its robust build. With a 3-speed automatic or 4-speed manual and 391 gears, it hit 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds and the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 103 miles per hour. At 3,870 pounds, it leaned on its shaker hood scoop and chin spoiler for style, a nod to Bullitt's iconic chase. The Rochester Quadra J carburetor and 10.5-to-1 compression delivered massive low-end torque, while the optional drag pack with 391 gears turned it into a quarter-mile monster, shaving tenths off with its 430 Extreme option. Ford cranked out 40,970 Mach 1s, its plush interior with high-back buckets offering comfort, though the live rear axle and soft springs made corners a challenge. Understeer was a frequent complaint. The 428's cast-iron block and beefy connecting rods handled abuse, a hit with street racers who added aftermarket cams for extra growl. The heads had huge ports, letting air rush in freely, feeding the cylinders for that tire-shredding torque you'd feel in your chest. You didn't need to be a gearhead to appreciate the way it shook the ground at idle. Its bold stance and movie star fame made it the cruiser to beat, but that weight slowed it down. Could it hold the crown? The answer would be no if you're a Mopar fanboy. The Dodge Challenger RT was the torque titan with a cult vibe. Launched in 1970 on Chrysler's E-Body, It debuted with a price of $4,000 with a 440 cubic inch six-pack V8, pumping out 390 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque through 3 Holley 2-barrel carbs. With a 4-speed manual and 355 gears, it hit 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds and the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds at 104 miles per hour, per car and driver's 1970 runs. At 3,835 pounds, its soft leaf spring suspension struggled in turns. But the pistol grip shifter and optional go-wing spoiler scream cool straight from vanishing point. The 10.5 to 1 compression and high-lift camshaft unleashed a torque wave, ideal for drag strips, while the heavy-duty Torque Flight automatic offered a smooth alternative. Chrysler built 9,509 440 RTs, its plush interior with wood-grain trim outclassing the Camaro, though rust-prone fenders and sloppy assembly drew flack. The six-pack's unique intake setup, 3 carbs on a spread-bore manifold, gave it a throaty roar, and options like the Super Track pack with 410 gears made it a tire shredder. Lift the hood, and the 446 pack was a sight. 3 carbs sitting proud, each sipping air through a vacuum pod that opened with a snarl, feeding cylinders with forged steel rods that could handle the fury. The cam had a wild lobe profile, making the exhaust pop like gunfire, a sound that'd make any kid on the block stop and stare. It was pure muscle. No engineering degree needed to feel its rage. Its bold grille and rare appeal turned it into an underdog legend, but the price tag and handling kept it niche. Could it steal the win? These machines weren't just built, they lived hard. The Mustang Mach 1's bullet chase scene, filmed with a 390 but echoed by the 428's power, made it a cultural icon, its shaker scoop a must-have mod. The Challenger RT's vanishing point fame, with Kowalski's white RT dodging cops, turned it into a rebel symbol, its torque hauling moonshine in southern lore. Under the hoods, the LT1's forged pistons handled heat. The Cobra Jet's 4-bolt mains took beatings, and the 6-pack's adjustable rocker arms tuned for power. Options like the Z28's heavy-duty radiator, Mach 1's competition suspension, and Challenger's Dana 60 rear end let owners customize for racer show. Yet flaws bit back. The Camaro's strike-induced rattles, the Mustang's gas-guzzling 428, and the Challenger's leaf spring flex kept them real. As 1970 faded, the stats rolled in. The Mustang's 190,000 sales towered over Camaro's 124,000 and Challenger's 76,000, a marketing win. On the strip, the Challenger's 13.8 second quarter edged the Mustang's 13.9 and Camaro's 14.2, while the Z28's tuned suspension owned corners, clocking 0.82 Gs of lateral grip per motor trend. Legacy? The Camaro's racing DNA, the Mustang's movie stardom, and the Challenger's cult status fuel today's builds and restorations. For straight-line speed, the RT wins. For handling, the Z28. For icon status, the Mach 1. Our pick, the Ford Mustang Mach 1 by split decision. Its 400-horse grunt, bullet cool, and convincing sales lead seal it. Steve McQueen would approve, but the gearheads should decide. Which do you think should hold the crown? Drop Camaro, Mustang, or Challenger in the comments. If this fired you up, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to Engine Innovator, and hit the bell for more automotive content. Thanks for watching.